the T is so difficult because we look at it as a great service that serves us here, but the truth is they're commuter rail statewide. A big part of the debt was buying the right-of-ways, for the commuter rail, for enlarging the commuter rail, and for all of the development that they have to do. There is a huge real estate piece to the T, and a lot of people, the debt that the T is responsible for is far bigger than, of course, just the buses. You understand? They picked up a significant part of the big dig that was put on their debt. Exactly defining it, I couldn't of the $4 billion, but I do know that a friend of mine is working on that to try to determine that so it could be explained to everybody about how big the debt is and how it got there.
Because there's no trains or buses that are...
No, but it's not just even equipment. It's not even just equipment. I mean, in the Hingham commuter rail, on the Hingham line, I believe they built a $40 million tunnel under Hingham. So, this is all debt service. And so that was one big piece that I was shocked at. The problem, once again, is people looked at the T's pensions and immediately talked about a 23-year and out pension, which none of us have. I mean, unless you work for the T. Nobody ever heard of that, 23 years and you get full health care on top of it. And that has been changed. The 23 out now, you can go at 23 years, but you wouldn't get your health care till after you're 55. That's been legislated that they have to correct that piece on the MBTA. The other part of that 23-year pension is if you only work 22 years and never got to the 23rd year, you just get like plus 3% and you're out. So there's no incentive. Or if you retire from the T, say I retire at 43 with 23 years and die at 3 years later, my family gets 3 years and then they're just shut off. So although it sounds like it's a big lavish thing on the T to get the 23 and out with health care, of course it is, we know that. But there's other sacrifices that spouses and, there are inequities in the system that really should be taken care of and aren't. Do you understand? So, but we are looking at all of that. And with respect to the health care, not merging it into the state GIC, a big part of that was the state is primarily white-collar workers, as we know, and in the GIC, which is the major state insurer, now you're taking 6,000 blue-collar workers, bus drivers, working in diesel fumes, mechanics, machinists. You're looking at a whole nother class of people. And so when the discussions come up, I asked if there was an actuary to find out what the costs were of that health plan before we merged it with the GIC. And frankly, they're doing that now to find out if it would be a budget buster for us. So we are looking at a lot of different ways within the T itself to try to be fair, but also responsible, fiscally responsible. And that will develop as we move along. But it isn't just a quick, oh, that's a disgrace, we got to change it, because at one point we were bringing all of the T employees into the state Massachusetts pension system, and T employees get Social Security. State employees don't get Social Security. If you did that and put it a big, the feds could then say you got to pay Social Security for every. So there's all kinds of different problems that as we go to try to address this, that you encounter, the kind of unintended consequences. But it isn't just the workers of the T that developed that $4 billion. However, I will tell you there are segments in transportation that need to be corrected, and there are different levels of management that I think are redundant and should be addressed.